Most people think you need $1 million to live off dividends. They see those massive portfolios on Instagram, the private jets, and the luxury lifestyle, and they think, that's not for me. I started too late, or I don't earn enough. But what if I told you that's exactly what the financial industry wants you to believe? What if I told you that with the right strategy, even a modest $100,000 portfolio could start paying you every single month? Starting right now? Not in 30 years when you're too old to enjoy it. Not as unrealized gains on a screen. I'm talking about real cold hard cash hitting your bank account every 30 days. The crazy part is that most people will never build this. Not because they lack the intelligence, but because they're playing the wrong game. They're stuck in the single paycheck system. You work once, you get paid once, and then you spend it all just to repeat the cycle. It's a hamster wheel that never stops turning. Meanwhile, the wealthy are getting paid 30, 40, or even 50 times a year. Not from a boss they have to impress, but from assets they bought years ago. Today, I'm showing you the blueprint to join them and break that cycle forever. Let's start with the math, but let's make it more relatable. If you invest $100,000 into a portfolio yielding around 6%, that's $6,000 per year, or $500 per month. Now, don't just think of it as $500. In this channel, we call those freedom units. Think about it. That $500 pays for your high-speed internet, your gym membership, your phone bill, and your groceries, without you lifting a finger. You didn't trade 40 hours of your life for that meal. Your money did. That is the fundamental shift from being a consumer to being an owner of the economy. But why now? Why is this more urgent than ever? Because of the silent killer, inflation. If you leave $100,000 in a standard savings account, you aren't playing it safe. You are losing. At 3% inflation, your purchasing power evaporates every single year. In a decade, that 100 grand feels like 70. Dividend investing is your shield. You aren't just saving money, you are buying productive companies that raise their prices when inflation hits, passing those profits directly to you. Now, how do you actually pick these winners? You can't just throw darts at a board. You need a structure based on 3 specific pillars. First, the core growth, SCHD. This is the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. It doesn't just pay you, it grows. It holds companies like Home Depot, PepsiCo, and Chevron. These are businesses that have survived wars, recessions, and technological shifts. When you buy SCHD, you aren't gambling on the next meme stock. You're betting on the backbone of the global economy. It's the foundation of your house. Second, the income booster, JEPI. This is an actively managed fund that uses a specialized strategy called covered calls to generate high immediate cash flow. While a normal blue chip stock might pay you 2%, JEPI aims for much higher. It's the turbocharger in your engine that turns a small portfolio into a meaningful monthly paycheck. It provides the liquidity you need to stay motivated. Third, the monthly king is Realty Income, ticker O. Most companies pay every 3 months, which is fine for a spreadsheet but terrible for a monthly budget. Realty Income literally trademarked the phrase the monthly dividend company. They own the land under thousands of essential stores like 7-Eleven, Walgreens, and Dollar General. Every time someone buys a gallon of milk or a prescription at those stores, a tiny fraction of that profit is funneled directly into your pocket. It's like being a landlord without ever having to fix a broken toilet. But here is where I have to be honest with you. Every good system has a villain. And in the world of dividends, the villain is the yield trap. This is the mistake that destroys 90% of beginners. You'll see a company on a stock screener paying a 15% or 20% dividend. Your eyes light up. You think you've found a cheat code. But in 9 cases out of 10, that's not a dividend. It's a warning siren. A yield that high usually means the stock price has crashed because the business is failing. If a company is losing money, they cannot keep paying you. Eventually, they cut the dividend to 0. The stock drops another 50%, and your passive income strategy becomes a capital destruction machine. Remember, a high yield is worthless if it isn't sustainable. Always look at the payout ratio. If a company is paying out more than it earns, run the other direction. Now, let's compare this to the traditional rule of 4%. Most financial advisors tell you to buy the S&P 500 and sell 4% of your shares every year for retirement. But what happens when the market drops 30% in a year? You're forced to sell your shares at the worst possible time, bleeding your portfolio dry. Dividends change the game. When the market crashes, you don't sell. You hold. Your shares stay the same, and your income keeps flowing. It's the difference between cutting down your apple tree for firewood or just picking the apples every season. Think about the snowball effect. If you take that $500 monthly dividend, and instead of spending it on a new pair of shoes or a gadget you don't need, you reinvest it back into the machine, something magical happens. This is what Einstein called the 8th wonder of the world. Next month, you don't get $500. You get $503. The month after, $507. It feels slow at first. It's like watching paint dry. But after 10 years, that snowball is an avalanche. Your dividends start buying more shares than your actual salary does. Your money is having babies, and those babies are having babies. Let's talk about the psychological floor. Investing is 10% math and 90% behavior. Most people fail because they panic when they see red on their screen. But dividend investors are different. We don't pray for the market to go up. We pray for the market to stay rational. In fact, when prices drop, we get excited because our yield on cost goes up. We are shoppers in a world of panickers. This mindset is what keeps you in the game long enough to actually get rich. So, let's get practical. What's your number? Don't just say a lot of money. That's a wish, not a plan. What is the specific monthly amount that would change your life today? Is it $100 to cover your utilities? Is it $1,000 to cover your mortgage? Is it $5,000 to quit your job forever? Once you define that number, you can reverse engineer the path. If you want $1,000 a month at a 6% yield, you need $200,000 invested. If you have $2,000 today, you're 1% of the way there. That's not zero. That's a start. The world right now is unpredictable. Interest rates are a roller coaster, and uncertainty is everywhere. But here's the truth. Great companies will continue to provide value, they will continue to make profits, and the best ones will continue to share those profits with you. The question isn't what the market will do next week. The question is, are you building a system that works while you sleep? If you're ready to stop being a spectator and start being an owner, I want you to do something right now. Comment your monthly passive income goal below. Don't be shy. Whether it's $50 or $5,000, write it down. Once you put it in writing, it stops being a dream and starts being a target. Let's build this community of cash flow investors together. And if you want to see exactly how I analyze individual stocks to avoid those yield traps we talked about, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're building wealth here, one dividend at a time. I'll see you in the next one.